Welcome to MJ Hobby Corner, guys. This is our bi-weekly talk. I'm your host, Martin, and Julie,
Hello there.
my favorite opponent, my only opponent.
Your faithful minion. Welcome, new subscribers.
Welcome, new subscribers.
Thank you.
Thanks for supporting the channel.
Absolutely. Share our videos if you want to spread it. That'd be great.
Spread the wealth,
Yes,
right?
right. Exactly.
So we have a lot to show this week, a
We
couple
do.
of things.
Yeah. Some good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's get on with it.
Okay. Let's do it. So, games update. We should probably talk about why Horizon Wars hasn't been, Horizon Wars hasn't been played yet.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this past week, I got involved in a sculpting project, of course. And whenever anything happens with sculpting, a lot of things get kind of pushed aside a little bit.
Yeah, because that's really in depth and intense
Right.
when you sculpt. It takes all of your time.
It takes a lot of time,
Yeah.
and I have to really focus on that. But we are planning to play another Horizon Wars, and this time it's not a training video
Right,
the way
right.
we did before.
No, I completed mech training.
Yeah,
I
she completed mech
it.
training.
I should get a certificate. That's silly, I know.
But we will be playing a more normal game of Horizon Wars, and we might throw in some aircraft in there, and there'll be an objective that, so the game will have an objective. And that's coming next week. Now, I'm not sure which day. We'll
Yeah.
have to play it by
Yeah,
ear.
we always kind of have to.
Yeah,
The scheduling can be a problem sometimes.
sometimes. But it could be on Wednesday. I'm kind of aiming for that time frame for Horizon Wars.
I would be aiming more towards Monday, I think.
Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see how the schedule plays.
Yeah.
I still have sculpting to do, and there might be, there's another update. I think we have another game update.
Which one?
5 parsecs.
Yeah, yeah.
And for 5 parsecs, I purchased the Alien Encounter module. Basically, it adds a little flavor to your campaigns. So I'll be very interested in looking at this. And the 5 parsecs rules compendium to add some extra tools and extra rules for the game. And, I've taken a little break of 5 parsecs because I've been doing so much stuff, building terrain and just doing a lot of things. And the Deep Sea project, which we'll mention later, that's been taking a lot of time.
Yes, it has. But the results are amazing.
Cool. Well, we'll get to
Really
see that later.
amazing.
You guys
Yeah.
will see the reef that I'm building, and we'll talk a little bit about Deep Wars,
Yeah.
the game. And maybe she could join me. You could join me at one or two of those games.
I
So.
definitely could. Yeah. So, Oathmark.
Oathmark. And if you haven't seen the last Oathmark game of Well of Prophecy, check it out in the Oathmark playlist here in my channel. Julie and I battled for the Well of Prophecy. It was a very fun game. Oathmark's a big thing. And the Well of Prophecy is completed. That's only 3 scenarios, right? So now Julie and I we're thinking about moving on to river battles and start incorporating that into the storyline of the campaign.
And boats.
Yes. Right? And so that's Oathmark. Oathmark will be returning. Again, it's every other week, Oathmark week. And then what we'll do is we'll start preparing those boats and get some river battles in.
And I have to get into the studio and help
Start
out
painting.
a little
Yes.
bit more. Yeah.
She's going to start helping me paint those boats.
Right. So hopefully you'll be seeing more of me too, because I'll be in the studio around when you're filming. So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. All right.
All right.
So moving on.
What is next? Let's see. We did the unboxing, I guess. Of that.
Oh, we have an unboxing.
Yeah.
Yes, correct. Well, here it is, and this is another Mantic Games Kings of War set. I have quite a few of these, and this is the Orc Axe Regiment. I never had orcs before. I only have one little group of 40k orcs, and that's it. So this is new to me. All right. Okay. All right, so Kings of War, Orc Axe Regiment. Let's see what's in the box.
We've got.
And again, as I said, this is my first real orc regiment. And, you know, I'm pretty excited. Whoa, look at all
look
that
at
plastic.
this. So these are the bases.
All right, so these are all
16, 20.
20 figures. Yes, correct. 20
Thank you.
figures. So here are the bases. All right, we're going to put those aside.
Okay. Oh, these look interesting.
Oh, wow. So these are coming in sprues, no longer those baggies.
Yeah.
All right, let me just get the camera to focus a little bit. Okay, there we go. Look at that. Look at those weapons.
Yep.
Look at the staff there. Oh, no, that looks like a banner. Okay, some interesting weapons here.
So the sprues are...
What are these little goblins? Oh, my goodness. There's little goblins there.
So
Probably to decorate the bases. Check that out. All right.
I'm just trying to figure out, like...
Here are the orc bodies.
These are all the same, right? These are
Okay,
the same?
yeah. So all your looks like these are all half sprues.
And these are all the same.
Okay. So all your
I
variation
believe this one too.
is in one sprue, it looks like.
Yeah.
Or two
And,
sprues.
yeah, and then
you
we
get
have
two smaller sprues.
Yeah, then we get some extra stuff here.
Like weapons and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
All right, interesting.
Cool. Very nice.
So nice detail.
Yeah, and it's nice and sturdy.
Sturdy plastic.
Yeah. The detail is nice, you're right.
There's a little bit of flash here and there, it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe not. No, that's part of the figure. But you will have to do a little cleaning because you'll have to get these out of the sprue.
Mm-hmm.
There's all these little goblin things.
Mm-hmm.
And they're kind of cool. Do you see those there? There's like these little goblin critters. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
Very nice detail. I love the chainmail. So nice
Nice,
kit.
very nice kit. Yep.
So these will be for Oathmark.
Woohoo, my favorite game.
Yeah, and any other game, of course, where we can use orcs. Pretty cool. I like these guys. So that's that. And then all of these sprues, all of these half sprues are all the same, right?
Right, yeah. They're all the same.
Yeah, okay. So all your
This one
variation
too. This one
is
is
in one sprue.
I was trying to figure out what that one is. That yeah, it's the only one like this.
Okay, right. So you're getting two different... Oh, I see. This is a new sprue here.
Yeah, that's a different.
Gotcha.
And it's only one.
Right, so I wonder if these are like commanders or...
Yeah,
The
that's
weapons are
interesting.
different, too.
And this too, this is just weapons, I guess. It's just a sprue of weapons.
Look at that little dude.
Yeah, look at him. Oh my goodness,
He's
he's
tiny.
He's tiny.
All right, so
For
very
sure.
nice detail. Look at that detail. I like these orcs.
Yeah.
I really do.
Kings of War does really well, I believe, with their miniatures, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Mantic has some pretty good miniatures. Vanguard line, I had a couple of problems with a couple of miniatures from Vanguard, but nothing major. You know, there is no instruction to this.
Right.
But, you know, so I'm assuming I just follow the artwork, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
And most of the parts
Wow.
are attached near each other, so you should be able to
decipher words. What it is.
and give it some variation, some shields, and so very nice kit, very nice.
Definitely, 2 thumbs up.
All the Mantic figures I have so far, I like them. The sci-fi range from Mantic is pretty good. I like the aliens, and it has a good variety. So not bad.
I wonder though. So these came in sprues, right? You believe it unboxed other Kings of War that came in the baggies. Which do you think is better? Like, which is
that's a good
easier to do?
question.
Is one easier to do than the other? I'm just curious.
Good question. With the sprues, obviously you got to clip the figures out and then do the cleaning.
Right.
Which you got to
So
trim
the bags
everything.
would be easier.
The baggies in some cases are easier. The only problem with the baggies is that you have to work one baggie at a time because they come with so many pieces, and you still have to do some cleaning.
Okay.
Okay. I would say I like the baggies.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I would think.
It's a little less clipping.
Yeah, that's what I would think too. I just wondered. Yeah.
But I mean, the sprues, you know, I like the sprues are a little more organized instead of
Yes.
having everything jumbled
Yes.
into a little baggie.
I can see that. I can see that. Oh, good.
Good question.
Ah.
All right, so what's next
What's
then?
next?
Uh-oh.
Oh, the deep sea project.
Ah,
I'm so excited about what we're going to be showing you soon. I'm
the coral
so
reef.
excited.
Right. Well, this is a project that I actually started. We started what, maybe a month ago, a couple of months ago?
It was right around Christmas time.
Yeah, that's right. It's already been a couple of months.
Yeah.
The first phase of the deep sea project, for those of you that are new to the channel, was my sculpting. I was sculpting a bunch of sea creatures and a diver that we were going to use in the game Deep Wars. And then part 2 of that project, phase 2 of that project, is all the terrain. And it's been keeping me very busy.
Yeah.
It's a very busy project. So we're going to go take a look at the coral reef now. And then we'll tell you what's next in that project. Okay, and here is the reef, or part of it.
Yep.
Okay, so some of the things I did, I added these new clip-on terrain. This is with clothespins.
That was brilliant, by the way. I think that was brilliant.
And I decorate the clothespins with all kinds of critters, and then the clothespins attach to the folds on the cloth.
Right.
And then we have here, for example, we have some fish floating around, right? So I attach some fish.
That is so cool, because it looks so real.
To the
It
clothespin.
looks like they're really swimming.
Yeah.
It really does. It is so amazing.
I'm fixing the lamp so I don't get too much shadow. But then you have little fish there. I added a little color.
That. Look at how beautiful that is. And it looks so real. It's so realistic.
Well, this is going to be possibly be one of our table setups for Deep Wars.
Yeah.
We have the reef here, and here are some of the diver figures. Keeping some things plain because we want figures to be able to move around.
Right.
There's an octopus there.
Yeah, look at that. Look how cool.
Giant octopus. Here, there's a stingray.
Yep. Very nice.
And a sea star,
Uh-huh.
the size of a man's chest. And then there's a giant snail. That snail's like
It's so cool.
the size of a bear.
I know. That's funny. I love it. I love it. I love it.
And then as you go down the reef, right, the idea is that because I read that Deep Wars keeps track of depth, and your divers can actually get the bends.
Right.
So
It's going to be great.
yeah, so we have the reef here. And then as we go down the reef, you go into the deeper portions. Here's a jellyfish.
I love that.
Yeah, it's a killer jellyfish.
Look at how cool that is.
And there's one big jelly.
Oh,
Yeah, one big scary jelly. And
it is. I love it, though.
there's another faction there for
Right.
the dark mariners. And then we have a nice big giant ammonite here. And then a placoderm.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I really like it.
So,
I love the color of it.
I'm going to be adding some more fish. So you're going to see more fish when we play. You'll see fish schools and stuff hanging out by the thing there. And I'm really liking my little clippy terrain thing.
Absolutely. It's such a good idea. It's just...
You think, yeah, it adds to it.
Oh, totally. And then the way you did this, the way it hangs over the
Right,
side,
right.
that it's just so cool.
That's the
so
idea
cool.
is that the reef, this is the reef cliff, and to kind of camouflage some of the emptiness of the cloth, you add those clippies, and there's some sponges way back there too.
Yep. I know.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this. I don't think I saw that the first time, that octopus.
Yeah, there's another giant octopus.
And
there's
it's
some
the
giant
same
clams.
color. It blends in a little,
Yeah.
so that's cool. Yeah. What do you guys think? I'd like to know what you think about the clippy things with the coral and such.
And I used to use this in my mountain setups. What I do in the mountain setups, if we had a large mountain, I would stick trees and other vegetation on the clippy things and then clip them to the cloth. And it really did look like vegetation.
Yeah, and this really does look like coral.
Yeah.
I mean, it really, really does.
We're going to add a couple more fish.
Yeah, love the fish.
And then this project's still not finished. There's still some more work, but we're getting there. We're definitely getting
Yeah,
there.
absolutely. You're making a lot of progress.
A lot of progress, and I'm just going to show a little bit back here. And there are some of the colorful critters, and there's a big sponge there. So everywhere you look, there's something.
Yep.
And there will be more little fish hanging out.
Those are one of my favorite things.
Yeah, the little fish.
Love that. Love it, love it.
Yeah.
It looks like they're really a school of fish swimming by. It's just amazing.
Right. And this way, you know, everything is nice and colorful.
Yeah.
So that's the
Really
reef.
colorful.
And it's a very it's a magical reef.
Yeah.
It's a mutated
Of course
reef.
it is.
You know, everything is huge and mutated.
Right.
And all right. So all right.
That'll be fun.
That was the deep sea
Yay,
project, the
good job.
reef. All right.
Well done, sir.
Hopefully we can get some deep wars going
Yes.
very soon.
Yes.
So that was the coral reef project I've been working on, and a lot of, you know, making all the little clippy terrain. I still have a couple of things to do with that, a few touch-ups, add the fish. I want to have little fish going in and out. I really think that gives the terrain the sort of, this is underwater.
Yeah, well, it gives it,
You
makes
know?
it very realistic. It makes it feel like you really are. It does.
Even if the reef itself is not to scale and the terrain is really not to scale or ultra realistic, it's still kind of it kind of immerses you into
I agree.
the story. You know, the deep wars.
And the
story.
colors.
And the colors, the
of-
vibrant colors of the
being
reef.
underwater, yeah.
So there are a couple of well, I guess the next thing we were going to talk about is where is that project going?
Right.
Right.
You took the words out of my mouth.
I sure did.
Go ahead. Where
I
is
do
it
that.
going? Tell us, please.
So the next step, I do want to make a wreck, a submersible wreck. Deep Wars has these awesome like submersibles and stuff. So I want to have a wreck. There will be a scenario where you have to get an objective from the wreck, right? So it'll be nice to have a nice submersible wreck for the middle of the table. And then, now we can start playing Deep Wars.
Okay.
Start looking at the rules. We'll have a video maybe on the rules.
When do you think we'll get to actually play it again?
There's still a little bit more building to do, but I'm thinking maybe a couple of weeks. It'll give me time to paint some stuff, make a few more things. Because there is, what I want to do is have the reef, then you go down into the deeper portions, but then there'll be a deep sea trench with all these smoker vents.
Right.
And then we'll have a killer angler fish that's going to be swimming around the trench. And that I'm going to have to sculpt. So
That'll take time.
that'll take some time.
Yeah.
But we can still play Deep Wars before all that. And that'll just come later.
Oh,
You
good.
know,
All
play a
right.
couple of games of Deep Wars, get our feet wet.
Pun intended? Or no pun intended? Get our feet wet.
Yeah, you know, I walked right into that one. I didn't even
Like,
notice
wow.
that. All right, well, get ourselves wet. Yeah, all right.
That's so funny.
That was
funny,
good.
it was.
So yeah. Anyway, get that started, and then we'll get an idea what Deep Wars is like. And I do have some of the expansions. We'll talk about some of the story expansions for that game.
Okay.
So.
That sounds really good.
Yep.
Next is the sculpture segment.
Sculptures, the undead turtle, and the skeletal lizardmen.
That undead turtle is so cool.
All right. Well, without
Further ado.
further ado,
I'm sorry.
I pull things out of her mouth. She pulls things out of my mouth.
Oh, sorry, guys. Really.
All right, let's go check out that turtle. Okay, and here is the skeletal turtle. The weapon is now drying, and I'm just about finished. Once the weapon dries, I'm going to take a file to it, and with an X-Acto knife, and take out any flash, and then the file, I can file down the edges a little bit, make a little bit of a blade, right? But I just finished the other side of the weapon, so things are still a little bit rough. So now it's just waiting for everything to dry so that I can continue with this. Okay. And I will have a separate video on how I make my weapons. There's a lot of different ways. So there's the turtle. Turtle skull is complete. And this undead monster is just about finished. Then I can paint it, put it on a base, and it goes into my undead army. Okay, just giving you a little view. And there he is, folks. Takes a little bit of work, but with some patience, you can do just about anything. All right, there it is. That's my update. And for my lizard man, this is what I have so far. I have the legs and a little bit of the hip on one of them, and I will continue this next week.
Up next, we're going to talk about the sci-fi terrain, right? And basically, it's in 3 words: buildings, buildings, and actually 4 words: more buildings. So let's talk about that.
All right, so I do have a project in mind. Since we're playing Horizon Wars, and little by little we're going to get into sci-fi, Drop Zone Commander is another game that's coming up.
I wanted to do that.
I need buildings. I need lots of buildings. Well, not lots of buildings, but you know. So
He needs lots of buildings.
I'm going to have a segment, a couple of videos that'll show how I make my building terrain using these old plastic bottles.
Yeah,
and
very
not
cool.
just building terrain, but you'll see some more sci-fi terrain, modular. Modularity is very important for me here in the studio.
Okay.
So we're going to look at terrain that you can actually hook up together, take apart.
I like that kind of thing.
You know, put it back into whatever shelf or whatever, rather than having big pieces that then I don't have space for. So
And spaces is an issue.
yeah,
It really is an issue
yeah.
here.
Yeah, and I do a terrain purging every spring. I go through
You
all my
do.
terrain
Yeah,
and
that's
discard
true.
things that are older that I know I can make better, so we make room for more newer stuff. So this is going to be next. We're going to be talking about these plastic bottles, and we're going to make some cool buildings out of them, basically.
Very cool. And speaking of, we are going to be making buildings, I am going to try my hand at terrain making.
That's right. Julie is going to make her first piece of terrain.
I'm gonna do it, guys.
ever.
I'm gonna try, and we're gonna film it and
Yep.
show you how it goes, and that should be a lot of fun.
And that's going to introduce you, now that Julie's, she's a new war gamer, but she already has experience with a lot of games, right? You already have.
Yeah.
So now we're going to introduce her into that part of the hobby, the terrain building.
I'm
So
gonna try.
don't miss
Try
that.
my hand there. Don't miss that. We're gonna give it a shot.
It'll be fun. I'll be teasing her behind the line like
Yeah, I'm sure too. I'm sure you will.
So, with respect to the terrain, just so that I can finish up the segment,
yes, of course.
we're also going to be using this stuff.
Right? Yeah,
this-
you love using that stuff.
Yeah, this is not new. I mean, gamers have been using this stuff for years and years. There's a ton of videos out there, different people doing different projects with these things. But now, you don't only have to use these in sci-fi. You can use these in fantasy as well. So we'll be looking into this material and doing
like
a bunch
that.
of things with it.
Awesome.
And then the last thing is, you guys know my sci-fi walls.
Love them.
This particular one has sliding door. I'm going to be making new walls, different style for my sci-fi games.
Okay.
But the other thing we're going to be doing is catwalks. I want to have elevated terrain that's modular that will go with these
I
walls.
loved that idea.
Right?
I
So
did.
you'll have a staircase going up, right? And then a catwalk up here.
Perfect.
And so figures can interact in different
Yeah.
ways. That's going to happen soon. I'm thinking within the next couple of weeks. And
Vehicles, you're doing something with vehicles too, aren't you?
yes. Very soon. I'm not ready to show it yet, but I've been sculpting a starship out of various clay materials.
It's pretty cool.
And I have, it's a very small figure. And we're going to be talking about sculpting vehicles. Things like starships and
Yeah.
tanks and mechs and all that.
Cool.
That's a project that I'm going to dive in, but that's going to be a little while further.
Okay.
I think I thought I would be able to show it in this talk. Mm-hmm. We're probably going to show it in the next talk because I want to get the Starship to a point where it's almost ready to paint. Mm-hmm. And then I'll show you guys.
You're going to like it. It's really cool.
Yeah, and so we will be making more starships as part of the sculpting videos. And then those will be used in games that we'll have in the summer or whatever that have to do with starships. We'll have some starship combat. All right, folks. So is there anything else you want to add?
That's it. That's
Okay.
all we've got.
That's all we got. I think it's plenty for this
I hope
week.
so, yeah.
So remember, this coming week, Horizon Wars. Mm-hmm. We do have more sculpting and a little bit of terrain building for next week. And hopefully we'll get those videos out as I finish projects.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Maybe. When do you think I can start my terrain project?
we could probably start next week.
Can we?
I mean, yeah, while I'm doing some terrain, you can do your own terrain.
Okay.
We have clean up one of the benches and there you go.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
So keep an eye out for
Yeah,
Julie's
keep an eye
first terrain. All right, folks. Well, you have a great day.
Thank you for
and
watching.
Thank you for watching and getting more snow. We're getting killed over here with
Yeah.
snow.
It's not snowing right now, which is like the first time in 5 days that it hasn't
Yeah.
been snowing, right?
But
And we're supposed to get another
another storm.
3 inches tonight, and then a storm the weekend, I thought. I don't know.
Wow. All right. Maybe we could play some Frostgrave.
Woo!
All right, folks.